Hey you guys, thank you so much for joining me today. And for those of you who are new, a big welcome. I'm Amy Gretchen, and in this video, I'm going to share with you my Hobonichi journal. So I gave you guys a little sneak peek of what I'm going to be using in 2022 for my planning, but I wanted to show you this year's planner, my Hobonichi planner, and how I'm using it, particularly how I'm using it as a memory planner, because I feel like it's not something I just plan in, but rather I feel like it's somewhere where I'm also documenting some of my memories, and it definitely helps me in terms of scrapbooking later and getting some of those stories told in a more artistic way. So let's dive in and I'll show you what my Hobonichi looks like. Okay, so this is my Hobonichi. This is how my Hobonichi looks every morning when I go to grab her and open her up. It makes me super happy to see. So the cover that I'm using is from Chic Sparrow. This is an A5 traveler's notebook. This is the Mr. Darcy. I believe it's in buttered rum, and unfortunately, it's no longer available. I'm super sad about that. I think if I have known, I may have ordered another one just because I'm afraid of this one dying somehow, but you can see that it is so well loved. It's scratched, it's marred, it's definitely softer than when it came, and I absolutely love this notebook. It is the traveler's notebook, so it has the holes for the elastics that I do not use, and I'll show you that as we open up the book. I just took the elastics out because I'm not using it for that, but Chic Sparrow does have some portfolio notebooks that fit the Hobonichi perfectly. So if you're interested in that, you can check out their website. I will have it linked below. All right, so just as I open it up, I know a lot of people want to see like what people have inside their pockets. So I'll just show you really quick. What I've got is a couple of larger stickers. So this sticker came from just a lovely German artist. I don't know her name offhand, but I will link to her shop before. I think I saw some videos on YouTube and that's what led me to her shop, but she has some really sweet designs. I'm not even sure if she's selling anymore, but I will link to her shop. This is obviously my girls from the BFFville, Annie and Laura. Have that, still trying to decide what I want to do with that sticker. And then these are just some icon stickers that I've made myself using some art from the Creative Market. Just purchased some and then made some stickers for myself. And then this is some other stickers from Serica Studio. I think I bought these years and years ago. If she still has a shop, I will link to those as well. So I just have it tucked in here because often these are the ones that I use during the week. And then I think this is just a sampler from Coffee Monsters Co. Yep, just a sampler. She's got some cute stickers as well, and you'll see that in my notebook as we get started. This little one peeking through is from her as well. This quote actually came from a calendar from Ali Edwards. I believe it was 2019, and I just cut it out. Really loved the sentiment and stuck it right in the cover. And speaking of covers, let me just show you how my Hobonichi slides in and out. So there is like a secretarial pocket that my Hobonichi just slides in and out of, and it works perfectly. All right. So this cover, there's actually a cover on my Hobonichi. It's a Midori plastic cover, and it's actually supposed to go on a notebook that's a little bit smaller than this. It fits the Hobonichi Avex perfectly, actually. So I just decided to get it anyway. I'd seen a couple other people using it, and I put it on and I kind of stretched it out a little bit and I kept massaging it, and just over time, it's fitting really good. You can see it kind of buckles a little bit there, but it doesn't flap open or anything like that. So I think this fits perfectly, and then it protects my Hobonichi cover, and it allows me to kind of stick things in here as well. So really loving. I would totally recommend this cover. And again, I will have everything that I'm sharing with you guys linked below. All right, so the first thing that we are going to come to is this first page, which has the current year, and then it has a past year, and then this is actually 2022. I've kind of put 2019 on there. I wrote in a 19, but I think this is supposed to help you maybe memory plan, so you can just quickly look at the dates that are coming up or maybe the dates that have passed. For 2020 and for this, which is 2019, I'm using it to document, or not document, I'm using it to show, or for me to kind of organize how much of my project life I have done. So you can see I have a lot of 2020, that first of the year done, or the first couple months. Then I'm missing some. So I have a lot left to do, but I'm definitely getting it done a week at a time. And then it's the same here down below instead of using it for 2022, because I never do that. Like I never look ahead in that way. And so for 2019, I've just done the same thing. And you obviously, these dates are not the exact same. So you can see that I'm actually starting on a Friday and then I'm crossing off the week that way. So you can see how much I still have yet to do on my 2019. Definitely have more done than in 2020, but I'm getting there, you guys. I'm working on it. So then over here for 2021, I actually am marking off some mood type stuff. So that's kind of what some of those circles are. And then I actually used a washi circle. I got these stickers from AliExpress. There is a million here. I did not realize it was coming with so many. I guess I wasn't exactly sure what I was purchasing, but I decided to put them on the months just to add a little bit of color. I technically don't do a lot of that decorating here. I just really, really love getting my memories in this book. So the next thing that we're going to come to, I have not done a really great job with this year. So my initial idea was to do tracking. A lot of people do their trackers here and they write down the things that they're tracking and then they mark it off for that day. So this top one is, you know, for the 1st of April, and then all those things on the 1st of April, you kind of mark them down. I really loved tracking before. I'm not as big a fan of tracking as I was. You can see that I did pretty good in January, tried doing it again. I think I did it in July and then kind of gave up. And I think I kind of gave up because I ended up tracking, I know I ended up tracking August in my work bullet journal. And then I realized I just am not a big tracker. So I didn't end up doing it in September either. It's possible I could finish. Am I bothered that I have like all this empty space not completed? No, I don't really worry about it. I mean, it would be nice to have the data and to have the information, but I don't worry about it too much and don't give myself a bad time about it. So one of the other things that I've seen people use with this is actually use this as an index. So on the daily pages, you could, if you write something down or you take notes, you could write it down, like let's say October 5th, you listen to a podcast, you could write the name of that podcast, that you have some notes for that day. And this would be a quick reference so you know exactly where to go to in your journal. So that would be a great use of this and probably how I will use it for next year. All right, so the next thing that we're going to come to is the monthlies. So this is kind of the start for me for my memory keeping. So instead of using the monthly like some other people do, planning where I've got my appointments on here or things that I need to do that day or birthdays and things like that, I actually use this as a gratitude journal, or I write down the things that are bringing me joy for that day. So just one thing that day that I was grateful for or that brought me joy. It doesn't need to be any more complicated than that. Sometimes you can see that I will add stickers, and sometimes I will add like a sticker on the entire day. Maybe I did that later on and I had forgotten, or I just wanted to add that sticker there. That is what was making me happy. Again, just more gratitude. Sometimes like I said, sometimes I add them and sometimes the stickers and sometimes I don't. Just more of the gratitude. So that is how I am using my monthly. And I really like that opportunity to just focus on the one thing from that day. And this is the day, this is the current month right now. So you can see that we only have one more day to go. And then the next thing that we come to are the weeklies. So I really, really love the weeklies. And I believe it was the Get to Work book that really got me attracted to this vertical weekly. And when I started using the Hobonichi a few years ago, I actually would write my to-do lists in here. and all the things that I needed to do for that day. And that's how I would use the Get to Work book. But slowly what I started to do, I think it was last year, and then of course I've done it for this year, is to write down things that were going on for that day and do more memory planning. So I started at the beginning because I wanted you guys to see kind of the evolution this year of how my weeklies have changed, where I've got a lot more pens and less of the brush pen. And you'll see that as I move through, I definitely am getting a lot more of this brush pen where I'm writing down kind of like the highlight for what was going on during that hour. And then, you know, writing more in pen. And maybe that would be a really great place to stop so I could show you the pens that I love using. So these are the two pens that I use primarily with my Hobonichi. Now, occasionally I have a colored brush pen, which I will show you in just a minute. So this is the Tombow Fudenosuke hard tip brush pen. I love this. They have a soft tip as well. I think the hard tip is a little bit easier to use. This is my favorite black pen for brush lettering. I love it, love it, love it. This is something that you can find in many, many shops. I will have it linked below, probably from Amazon. Maybe I will have it linked from Jet Pens as well, but they're not very expensive and they last a very, very long time. This is a Uniball Jetstream pen. And this is actually, I think they call this a 2-to-1. And the reason why they call it a 2-to-1 is because it has two ink colors. It has a black and it has a red. So do you guys remember these from being a kid where you had just a whole bunch of different colors? I actually really love this because I find them very convenient. But the one thing that I really love about this, and this is the reason why I'm using it, this actual body type, I do have several body types of this, of the Uniball Jetstream, because I love the ink in this book. It writes on the Tombow River paper so well. Is it has a pencil. So you can see as I push down on the clip here, let me just do that one more time. As I push down on the clip, I'm getting the pencil out. And then as I click down on it, I'm getting the lead to come out just like a mechanical pencil. Well, it is a mechanical pencil. So I really love that about this pen, that I'm able to have my black ink, which I love so much, and then to have a pencil, because I'm often doing like project notes or something like that. And often I will do that with pencils so that I can erase them. So I really love this. They have a version of this pen that I showed with the Hobonichi walkthrough or my unboxing, because it always comes with the Uniball pen, which is, so I'm looking on this. It's actually, I think I keep saying Uniball. I don't know if it's the same brand, but it's actually Jetstream. So anyway, the Hobonichi comes with a Jetstream that has the black, the red, and the blue ink. And that's when I fell in love with this ink. The flow is so awesome. It's not the blackest of blacks, but it writes so beautiful on this paper. And that is one thing that I have not talked about yet, is how much I love this paper. So this paper is Tombow River paper. It's a beautiful Japanese paper. It's very thin, like scripture paper. It takes ink so beautiful. It takes fountain ink so beautiful. It can even take like stamp ink. Some of the dye inks, some of the heavier dye inks will go through, but some ink you could definitely use on this. And watercolor so beautifully. And I love the crinkliness to it. I love writing on it. It's literally my favorite paper in the world. And I've heard that they're going to stop making it. So I hope that's not true, because I absolutely love this paper. Anyway, let me just stop here and show you how I'm using the weeklies as my memory planner. So before I told you I used to do my to-do lists on every day, what I've started doing is putting my to-do lists on the left side here. And this is all the stuff that I'm hoping to accomplish and to do for this week. And then for each day, what I end up doing is I'm going through and I'm writing down the things that I did that day. Now, I'm not doing it ahead of time. I'm doing it like as I go along or at the end of the day. So at the end of the day, when I'm doing my journaling, I will come to my weekly and I will fill this out and I will write down all the things that I did that day. Went for a run, I called one of my friends, I journaled, and then in between, I've got some of the other things that I did. I always really like, and I guess I did it here, but I always really like having the things that I'm working on in my studio so I know the projects and stuff that I had going on then. Sometimes I will actually do this live. You can see for this week here, I actually did this already. I've kind of written it out already. This says Film Hobonichi. So this is what I am doing today in this hour. But a lot of times I will do it at the end of the day, but sometimes I will do it as I'm going along during my day. And you can see that sometimes I will include stickers. So this week was actually a week in the life. So that's why there tends to be a lot more stickers. Seems like there's a lot more information, but I think I wanted it to look a little bit special because it was for week in the life. You can see I'm adding stickers. A lot of these stickers are the Coffee Monsters Co. Not all of them, but some of them are. Like I said, I did make my own stickers with some icons. One of the things that I was doing also, I was breaking my task list into home and work. And this is when I decided that to do my own work bullet journal, primarily because, I mean, I could have my to-do list here, but primarily I did it because I like to be able to make project notes or project sketches. And I don't have a lot of room to do it in my Hobonichi. In fact, if I use my daily pages to do my project sketches, then I wouldn't have any room to do my journaling. So I decided to take my work stuff out of here. Now I'm debating about bringing it back, but I do really like having that bullet journal because I like having my project sketches and my to-do list for my work all in the same place. So basically, this is just the same thing. Like I said, from time to time, I will end up adding some stickers there. And then that brings us to this week. One thing that I also wanted to show you guys are these Midori clips. I can't remember what they're called. This is actually what they are. They come in a pack of 8. Like I said, they're from the brand Midori. And these are the color orange, which seems kind of weird because they look copper, but Midori calls them orange. So that is what I call them. So anyway, I will have those linked below if you are interested in that. They're very thin and they work really great with the Hobonichi paper. And that just kind of helps me know what week I'm on. The other thing that I actually made myself are these, I guess you could call them pencil board, or you could call them a bookmark, but it's basically the size of the paper and it's just a piece of laminated sheet. And I cut this top part out of cardstock. You can see that I use my silhouette to cut out weekly there. This is all just one piece, and then I put it through the laminator and cut around it. You could definitely use this as a pencil board, put it behind the page that you're going to write on. But mostly I just use it as a bookmark, just another tab here, just because I made them. I think I made these a long time ago, and then I end up buying these. But anyway, I just end up using them. Sometimes it's kind of nice because if your ink is too wet and you close the book, then it keeps the ink from getting on this piece of paper here. I will sometimes use just a piece of paper as a blotter, and you can see that I have a lot of ink blotting there. So sometimes I will use that, sometimes I will use this. And I have one of these that says monthly and one that says daily. All right, so now let's move to the daily pages. So these are the heart of my Hobonichi and my memory planning, where this is my journaling. So a lot of times you're going to see that I've got like a bold word or a statement or something, and then I've got some journaling down here. So I think this home is probably the journaling for this, and then I wrote a couple other things from the day. Sometimes the days are highlights, and sometimes the day is just going to be like top to bottom journaling, where it's stream of consciousness, where it's some highlights from the day, where it's like very personal things that I'm wanting to share. So you probably won't see, I probably won't share any of those pages, because often when I'm writing from the top to the bottom is very personal. But for the most part, well, not for the most part, sometimes I do that and sometimes I don't. It just kind of depends on my mood. I do things very differently every single day. You can see that here I wrote a couple of my to-dos, and then I ended up doing a sticker and then some journaling. Again, I have another sticker. These ones came from the same pack. They're from American Crafts. I'm not sure what the line was, but I know that they came from the same pack. This particular day, I actually did some notes on a podcast that I was listening to. And then I think this one as well. This was actually another, they were both Enneagram, I believe. So this was the Enneagram, and then I just did some notes here. I do have a little bit of journaling there. So oftentimes I will, if there's something I'm listening to or something that I want to remember, I will write the notes in here. Sometimes I doodle. Another thing that I will do is, here's a list of things. It says the little things, so it's probably just a list of things from this day. You can see it's 1 through 9. I had these, definitely had these stickers that I wanted to use. And so just kind of did them sporadic and did 9 little stories from the day. And then again, you can see that sometimes I've got like highlights here where I'm just writing like a little bit of journaling about each thing. More probably just like highlights from the day. Sometimes I will do big long quotes with my journaling. And also one thing that I didn't show is each page does have the date, and then it has the day of the week. So this is the month and then the day. So one of the things that I like to include here was from Brandy Kincaid's, her little hope packages. This is something that came on the outside of the package, and so I decided to carefully take it off and stick it in my journal here, and I just wrote a little bit about that. These are highlights from the day, and then here I wrote about some of the things that I had purchased for this day. I don't always do that, but it's kind of fun as a memory to have that. This is also something that you could transcribe into your project life if you wanted to. And then sometimes I will add like a bunch of stickers. These are more stickers that I made from art that I purchased from Creative Market, and then just doing some highlights. Then I got the new Archer and Olive acrylograph markers, and I was testing out the colors here and just doing a little bit of doodling. You can see that I don't have any journaling from this day, and that's totally fine. Sometimes I have days like this. I have more days that are finished than not. I would say I probably have a handful of days that I have not written in, but for the most part I do, and I don't worry about it. I don't stress about it. I just let it go and let it be what it is. So I do love though, however, to do like pen swatches and stuff like that. And that's one of the things that I did here is I did some pen swatches. These are actually Karin markers. And Karin markers are very wet, saturated ink. So what I ended up doing is I did a very thin line of the ink, and then I used a water pen to kind of pull out the ink. So I'm getting a little bit more of this watercolor look. I wanted to, of course, see the color, but I wanted to see what the color looked as a watercolor. I think it is so beautiful. And what would be really great to have like a swatch like this that you can refer back to, and going back to what I had shared earlier, is as using these pages as an index, is you could go to May 29th, and down here on May 29th, you could write Karin marker swatches. And that way, if you're ever looking for these swatches again, you can go through and you can find it and see your swatches there. So another thing that I do a lot of is add some photos. So I do have a video showing you my two favorite small printers. One is the Canon QX10, and it does print in squares, but you can change the size of your photo. So this actually was print with the Canon QX10. You can see that I changed it to be more of a vertical shot instead of a square. I also have the Canon Ivy, which I have been printing with a lot more lately, and I'm really enjoying the quality of that as well. So I will do a lot of photos. I do a lot of photos actually if I'm have vacation, which this is. This is a vacation that we took, and you can see that I've definitely changed the size here. I've got the square, and then I've got some smaller ones as well, and just did journaling in between. Then actually I've just got another full page of journaling here. Sometimes, like I said, I will do some doodles. So one thing that I wanted to share with you, these markers or these brush pens I really, really love. These are from Sailor. These are Sailor brush pens, and they have a lot of really fun colors. And these are the markers. These are kind of my go-to markers when I want to add color to my book, because I really love how they write. They're just super beautiful. And this is what they look like. They remind me a lot of the Tombow dual brush pens, but I like using these a lot better. And I think the tip is just a little bit more firm, and I really like that. And then on the other side, it also has a fine tip, which is really, really fine, but I like that as well. So I will use that from time to time to kind of do like a title like a title before I do my journaling. It honestly just goes down to my mood. Like, how am I actually feeling this day will determine if I put color, if I put photo, if I put stamps. It just kind of depends on what's going on. A lot of times I'm tired at the end of the day and I don't want to do any decorating. I just want to get my stories out. And so oftentimes that's what it will be. It'll be a headline, and then it will be some journaling. So this one, you can see that I'm adding some stickers, and I've definitely got a lot more, headlines with my journaling. So these are all going to be individual stories from that day that I wanted to highlight, and then a little sticker that I decided to include. So I do, if you've been following along with me, you'll know that I am getting a lot more into stickers these days. So this is a sticker book that I actually created. I did have some for sale recently that have sold out, but I will have more for sale probably in the next month or two. If you guys are interested, you could let me know below. But it just has a whole bunch of stickers that I can just look through and then add, if it adds to my journaling. I know a lot of people will decorate their pages with their stickers first and then do journaling around it. I will do that on occasion. You saw that I did that with the photos. The other thing that I have here and that I wanted to share with you is the other sticker book that I have. A lot of these are the more planner stickers. This one is, I've got Coffee Monster Co. in here. I have Happy Dea, and then I have, what do I have? I have Paper Bits Co. also in here. So this is how I'm organizing this. If you guys would like to see those, how I've done those albums a little bit more, I could definitely do a separate video of those, but I just want to show you how I'm organizing some of, what are these called? Some of my stickers. So anyway, you guys, that is it. That is how I'm using my daily. It's really a place for me to just write what's on my mind, what's going on, stuff in my heart, or just highlights from the day, notes from podcasts, notes from books. Sometimes I will, and I didn't have any that I shared here, but sometimes I will have like a note. Well, I showed the one from Brandy Kincaid, that sticker, but sometimes I will have notes from friends that I will stick in here if I don't want to put it in my project life, or it doesn't fit into my project life. I will just stick right into my journaling here, and that I will just always have it for the future. So that is how I'm using the daily pages, my weekly pages, and see if I can get back to my monthly pages in my Hobonichi as my memory planner. And I have to just say, it's really, really helps me as I go back and look at my project life. It really helps me to get more of an intentional story told because I know exactly what was going on during that week. So anyway, you guys, that is going to be it for this video today. Thank you so much for being here and for your support. If you have any questions about supplies that I use that maybe I didn't talk about, or if you have questions about how I'm using the Hobonichi or the Hobonichi in general, you can leave them down below and I will definitely get to them. Again, thank you guys so much, and we will see you next time. Bye.